Alright, so I got this really thick stalk of sugarcane from the little Mexican mart down the street for like a couple dollars. This was not expensive at all, and this thing is huge, and I'm going to try to grow it. So this is going to be my second attempt growing sugarcane. I've had some mild success, but I'm going to be doing this better this time. As for the variety, this one seems to be more dark than green. The last variety I grew was definitely a green variety. I don't know that this is like a purple sugarcane, but it's definitely on the darker side in some of these areas here. So I'm not sure what the variety is, but I am interested to grow it, so I'm going to give it a shot. So basically, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be chopping it up into a bunch of pieces. I'm going to be wrapping them in like a newspaper or paper towel until they sprout from these nodes. And then you're going to plant those pieces. So on this stalk, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7 nodes. This area is kind of dry, it looks like. There might be a 7th that could be used there. Let's say 7. So basically what I'm going to be doing is chopping it at these middle parts between the nodes, and each node is going to be where it sprouts from. And you can see one that is already beginning right now. This little nub right here is sprouting from the nodes. Alright, I have cut the sugarcane. I used a pretty sharp tree cutter to do it. These things are pretty thick and tough, so you really need something that can handle that. So as you can see, I've got the nodes in the middle of all of these pieces here, and all these little bumpy things, these are the nodes. You can see sorta one little guy coming out right there. Here's another one right there. And even on this little tiny piece, there's, if it'll focus, there's one coming out right there. So we'll see. I'm gonna wrap this one as well, and we'll see if this one does anything. And then you can see one right there. Most of these have, I think all of these have something going on already. So this is good. And then these are the extra pieces that were kind of in the middle, you know. And I could have cut this one down more probably, but it's fine. So I can juice these or suck on these or whatever I want to do with these. I did use a tree cutter for it, so we'll see what I want to do with these. If I use them, then I'm gonna clean them a lot. So anyway, so next step is I'm gonna be wrapping these up and allowing them to develop those aerial roots more. Okay, so next I'm gonna be wrapping these. I've seen people use newspapers for this. I don't have newspapers, so I'm going to use paper towels. Should be just about the same. So I'm just going to roll it up. Just make a sort of burrito, I guess. And I'm going to repeat the process for all of these. And these are damp paper towels. So I just roll this up, damp paper towel, wrap it up, and then move on to the next step after I've done all these. So for our next step, now that we've got these wrapped up in the damp paper towel, I'm just going to put them all in this bag here. If it stay here. Just gonna stick them all in the bag. And the purpose of the bag is to just help lock in that moisture. And I'm just going to stick it someplace where it's not going to be too terribly cold. I'm just going to put it in the garage. And I'll come check on it in a week or two and see how the root progression is. Alright, so update on the sugarcane propagation. I would say I've had mixed success with the wrapping it in the damp paper towels and then putting it in the plastic bag and just having it enclosed to lock in that humidity. So when I revisited this and checked on it, there was quite a bit of mold growth. And that's kind of expected because of the environment you're creating. So it's kind of a root before you rot sort of situation. And because there was so much mold, I was concerned about losing the sugarcane because I haven't done this before, so it was very, a little bit shocking. So I decided to stop doing it exactly that way, and instead I took the paper towels off and just kept the sugarcane in the bag with a little bit of water at the bottom. And so now, after checking on it, I do have root growth. And there is a little bit, I think it's on this one. This one has mold growth on the ends because it's such a, I think this was the end of the original stalk of sugarcane. So there's a lot of space for mold to grow on this end. But I think the roots are simply sprouting on the side that had exposure to the water that was pooling at the bottom. That's my working hypothesis right now. So what I'm going to do is just set these in little trays of water and adapt my methodology here. You can kind of see the big root is coming out, and I think there might be little ones coming out. So anyway, I'm going to try that next because that seems to be what is working. And I will report back because that method that I was trying seems to have worked for other people, but it's not working as readily for me. So I'm gonna put these in tray of water, and it does make sense that the humidity helps this. I'm going to stick this in my greenhouse and check on it again. So my new plan is I'm gonna stick these pieces on this tray here, and I have a humidity dome that I'll put over top of this. Here's my dome, and I'm sure you can achieve this in plenty of other ways. I just happen to have the equipment for it. You could probably do it in cups or whatever, or you could just cover it in the plastic bag again, or even saran wrap, but this is what I've got because the humid environment does seem to be helping. It was just, I think, a little too stagnant and was promoting mold growth. So I'm going to try and cut down on that by giving it a little more breathability. So if I didn't have this dome, I might put these on a plate or something, or whatever sort of container you have, and then maybe the plastic bag or a saran wrap, and then put holes in it. So we'll see how this turns out. All right, it has been a couple weeks, And here is the growth on these pieces of sugarcane. As you can see, they have burst into root growth. And on some of these ones here, you can see they are beginning to sprout. So this humid environment with the water pooled at the bottom did the trick, and it's did what the bag method that other people have done. It's the same thing. I just did it this way because I guess I was getting a little bit too much mold on the cuts and the pieces that I had. And I guess this a little bit more airflow did me good here. But there's two different methods for you guys to try. And I do want to show you this one piece here. So I had on either side of the whole stalk of sugarcane, there is the cuts that were made by the people that harvested it. And I ended up discarding the top piece because it had a pretty jagged cut on it. And this is the bottom piece right here that has another jagged cut. And it's a lot of surface area that's kind of like dimpled. And anyway, it's a lot of weird surface area for mold to grow. And guys, there is, look at this. It is like a bright greenish yellow, and there's like gray mold on it. So just be careful with the cuts you have on the sides, because they can develop this sort of culture, if you will. Because holy moly, is that some mold. But we did get the root growth we were looking for. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is planting these out. And you can see here that on the sides, maybe I could have changed the airflow in here to alleviate this mold growth. I'm not sure. I will probably have to do some more future experiments with it. So like I mentioned before, this is sort of a root before you rot situation. So I'm going to plant these out, and hopefully they do fine. I suspect that they will, because they're so vigorous at this point. And the mold would have to penetrate deeper into the sides of the sugarcane, and I suspect that it's not going to be able to do that. So the next stage is just planting this out, and it's probably going to be several inches deep in the soil. And yeah, I hope these trials and tribulations that I'm going through here help you guys in experimenting with this and planting your own sugar cane. All right, lastly, just to show you guys how I'm going to plant these. How I've seen it done is I've seen people do it in pots like this. This might be a little bit smaller than what I've seen, but I'll get a few stalks out of it. So I'm going to be following the method that I saw, and that's just planting these not too close, but not too far either. Gonna be, they're a few inches apart. And I think I actually have too many pieces for this pot, but this is an experiment, so I'm just going to shove them all in here and see what happens.
I'm not worried about it. I'll probably just have to make some space along the side here for these last few. I think I'm pushing it with the amount of pieces I'm putting in, but it'll be fine. Because I'm not 100% sure that all of these are going to make it because of the mold issue. We shall see. But it's quite possible that they'll all make it. But anyway, that's how I'm doing it. I'll report back with the results. And I hope that helps you guys with your own experiments and growing sugarcane. Good luck to you guys.